Lacey, and this is my studio. I have been given a challenge from Karina up from Norway, and I will link her below in regards to making the Ruched T. I am just about to cut mine out. So I will cut that out and I will make that up. I also, in between cutting it out, making it up, I'm going to put my dress fabric into the wash so I can wash it and pre-shrink it so I can make my lovely Vogue vintage looking dress. So anyway, I'm going to make the Ruched T. It is a pattern by Angela Wolf, an amazing I want to say artist, but she's an artist, designer, come everything. She's fantastic with all things cloth. I'm going to put her link below. So I'm making the Ruched T. This will be a plain standard Ruched T. It comes in 5 different flavours. No, I think it comes in 9 flavours. Let me have a look at the board. Okay, what flavours? Here's the Ruched T here. Okay, so that's what it can look like. So how many flavours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was correct. 9 flavours. Okay, you've got the smaller neckline, you've got the mid neckline, and you've got the big neckline like that one there. Short, long, and 3/4 length sleeves. I'm not a huge 3/4 length sleeve kind of gal until I started wearing a lot of vintage clothes. Now, apparently in the vintage day, they had 3/4 length sleeves. Does anyone know why? Anyone? Okay, I'm taking a guess. I have no idea. They used to wear gloves. So I believe the gloves would come up and the 3/4 sleeves, they'll sort of marry up. I'm probably wrong, but only in this little split second when I said vintage has 3/4 sleeves, did my brain go, I wonder if that's why. Anyway, Willow wants to go out. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to pop on, put in I'm just going to pick a pin up. Hang on a sec. No, that's not a pin. It's gold tinsel. Right, I'm going to cut it out in front of you guys, and you won't, I'll be done in fast motion, and we'll talk a bit when I've cut it out. Okay, I've never made this before. Okay, had the pattern for yonks, but never made it before. Had it for donkey yonks. Okay, so I'll catch you in soon. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn that music down. So I've already joined one at the shoulder. I've joined one at the shoulder here. I'm just going to join the other side at the shoulder. The shoulder, I've got a notch. My notch in the shoulder there, and my notch in my back shoulder here. Put my notches together. Don't forget you're in charge of the fabric. The fabric is not in charge of you. Put my pin in, albeit crooked. Line up my back there. Okay, so it hits the edge, nice and lined up. And go to the other end, and it's a little bit of a stretch from the front to the back there to match, like minimal, like let's say it's not even a stretch. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go and sew my 2 shoulders. Right. Right, so once we've done our shoulders, we have our front and our back attached like so. Okay, and you've got your front here with your 1 notch, and you've got your back here with your 2 notches. You then take your where did I put it? Where did I put my sleeve, guys? That's there. That's there. I need that for later. I've mixed it up with my scraps. Who's a silly girl then? No, she hasn't. She hasn't mixed it up with her scraps. Oh, it's over here. I don't know if you can hear me, but normally what Angela likes to do is she gets her sleeve and she presses the cuff roll over while it's open. Okay, and she presses it and then gets her clapper and it makes it nice and firm. So I'll just roll that over. And do that. I'm so here. Sorry. Okay. So it's all folded over. It's got a nice little press seam on it. See? So it's got that. So when I put it into my cover stitch machine, there's no real fiddling around. I can just put that straight in. Right, so here's my front. Here's my front. Here's my back. Here's my back. So up the top here, I've got the shoulder seam. The back notches are here. And just curl that around. Remember, you can manipulate the fabric to move where you need it to move. And I've got the front notch here. And that manipulates around to marry up with that. And then because it's stretch fabric, I just work my fabric, put a pin in there. This is between the notch and the shoulder. I'm going to stretch it out and give it the proper room it's meant to have. Nice, nice there. And I will do the other side. Alrighty, Vegemite. So I have just pinned these two together. I'm going to go back to my machine and I'm going to stitch it together, and then I'm going to go to the overlocker and I'm going to overlock it pretty. Okay, and then by that time I will have sleeves attached. Alrighty. Rightio. So sleeves sewn on. So they look all nice and tidy now. This is it so far. Okay, and I've gone and pressed up the front and the back, so it's that little bit, so that when we do it, when it comes to the cover stitch machine, it is going to be cover stitched. Now when I pin, I forgot to say, when I pin my sleeves to my shoulder, I always have the seam going backwards. Okay, for those that know that rule, that's that rule. Sleeves go, the shoulder seam goes backwards. Okay, so I'm just going to pin down the side seams and go and attach that. I believe I can fly. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I'm doing the side seams. So I will be back in a jiff. Care to watch me? Okay, so that is all pinned up. I'm going to go and sew it up, then overlock off the edges, and my sides will be done, and then I am going to do the ruching. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Sorry, that was an email. Okay, so the next thing we do is this is where it comes to the ruching. Okay, so the ruching, we stitch up the side, okay, and you do a gathering stitch. So you stitch within the let's say the time frames within the seam allowance. Okay, so you stitch up there. Now, as I've shown you before, I use a different colour bobbin I do my top thread, because the bobbin thread is the easiest to move. So I've got yellow in my bobbin thread, and I picked yellow because it was right there. And the top one's going to be white. Okay, and we're going to go and do that. We gather it up, and then we get a either the selvage of the stretch fabric or a twill tape, and you sew it in to hold that gathering up. So I'll go and do that now, and I'll come back to you. See you soon. Right, I've done the gathering stitch inside the seam allowance, or between the stitch and the overlocking. I'm going to, now the best way to do this is when you are doing your gathering stitch, and you're putting it on there, because you don't want it to roll out the top, you make sure that you back tack up higher where the finishing is. Okay, so I'm starting from the bottom, and I've back tacked up here so that it doesn't come out. It stops right where I want it to. Now the thing is, will it stop where I want it to? So you just gather it up. I had some twill tape lying around doing absolutely nothing. I saw a little earlier today, and I threw it somewhere because I could. Let's get it up to there. Just a little bit to see what the ruchings looks like on the other side. Don't forget, don't start at the bottom, because that's where you're going to do your turn up. Well, I didn't start at the bottom because that's where I'm going to do my turn up. So it's not going to be ruched halfway through the turn up. Turnip. Sounds like I'm saying turnip. I'm not. I'm saying turn up. Still sounds like turnip. Okay, so just gather that all up. This is my other side. Just gathering. This actually bores the bajingas out of some people. But it is what it is. If you want the effect, if you want the crime, you do the time. Okay, so let me just turn it in the other way. There you go. So I'll have that little turn up there. I'll have the parsnip over the other side. And there's some carrots going on. Right, there we go. So that's my, I'm quite happy with that. I don't know if there's actually I don't think there's a thing that says, now's the perfect time to try on your top. Is it though? Because you know I'm not going to. Right. Right, perfect. Looks like I'm doing everything right. So now what I need to do is get the twill tape, make sure my sides are even, because I'd hate to have one side longer, unless that's the look you're going for. You never know. Look at that, that's matched beautifully. Not as much. And the sides together, feet together, jump. Yeah, lovely. So I'm going to go and find my twill tape. I think it's in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'll turn it back inside out. And I will place this over the top of my gathering and have it sitting inside there. Okie dokie, so I'll be back. I will change my bobbin thread. Remember, I've got it on yellow, so I'll change that to white now, because I don't need it in the stretch part, straight stitch, and I am not using Mariflex for this. I have used Mariflex for everything else, so it's got that little give. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so I have done the ruching. I have done all that. What I have next to do is stick on the neckline, the neckband. Okay, so there it is sitting, the neckband. It has little marks on it, so I'll go and attach that down the back. So put right sides together. It's got these little splits in it here, which I believe go onto the shoulder seam. And then of course you've got the front edge, which is the center that goes to the center front. So I will do that and I'll come back and pin it on. I just want to attach this first. Whoop. Yes, the noise was necessary. Apparently it didn't work though. The whoop's meant to help you flip it. Okay, so I'm going to go and do my 1 centimeter seam allowance for that. I don't know if I've ever said this, but when you do use indie patterns, especially for the first time, make sure that you are using the right seam allowance. Okay, big 4 patterns, 90% of the pattern is actually 2.5 centimeters, 5/8, I believe. Okay, so I'm just going to sew across here, fold it in half, and then line it up. But I'll be back. Like the wind. Okay, so I've also pressed open the seam allowance. I'm going to fold that in half. I chose the narrow neckline, not the bigger one. Right, there's my centre back. Centre back there, take this, it'll be my centre front. Make sure it is, those are together, that's together, this is my centre front. And then I'll mark the centre front on the front of my inner centre back, so I'll put my shoulder seams together. Don't forget, we like our shoulder seams to be at the back of the, so it goes to the back, the seam itself. What am I doing? I'm marking this, that's what I'm doing. Fold it around, centre front's there. And here, and centre back is here. You can clip them if you want. I obviously don't want to. All right, open that back up. I flip it inside out. So the back is here. I put it on the inside of this. Centre back, and they meet. Okay, and like I said, we've got those clips here, the clip marks, which go onto the shoulder seams. Sitting in there nicely. Oh, especially if it doesn't curl down. Be nicer, thank you. So I've got that there. Hopefully all 3 layers. And I go to the centre front. Make sure it's not twisted because I'm not doing the twist collar one. Okay, so that's there. And that is where the stretch goes. The stretch goes between the front and the shoulder seams. Okay. As you can see here, the biggest part, oh, no you can't. As you can see there, the neckline is bigger than, no, I do not have a pin in my mouth. The bigger one is obviously the neckline itself, not the neckband. So then I just do a little stretch just a little one, enough to get the neckline up to the fabric to match it. Okay, and that's given it the nice stretch I want and I'll use when I sew it. To the other side. That's why I haven't done this part. So match my notches up with my shoulder seams. Make sure your shoulder seam goes towards the back at there, because that's how we like to have it. And oops, a buku. I've held that fabric down. Okay, so then I've got this, and like I said, so I've got this going here. I want to, so basically sometimes what I do is just get the center of it and pull it up. I'll just pin it and see how nicely that stretches out evenly around that area. Didn't like that. Okay, now I like that better. Don't forget who's in charge of the fabric. You are. And I'll just do that there. Now I'm going to sew on the neckline. Okay, so oops, why would I do that on that side? So I'm going to go to my machine. You have disappeared altogether. I'm going to go to my machine and I'm going to sew that neckline on. Okay, so this is it, trailing it on. The little ruches up the side there. It's not tight in the tummy. The loose collar is that little tubey, so it's meant to be like a collared neck. So this is it's sitting on. If you wanted it tighter, you would have to actually make it a smaller neck line. I haven't hemmed it yet, so that's all I've got left to do is do my hem. The ruching's done, the neckline's done. I might cover stitch around the top of the neckline as well, just to finish that edge off for me. And yeah, then I've got I think it's meant to go down that way. Then I've got this Ruched T. Never had one before. Look at me. You can see a little bit of the back in the background. How do I get it on there? Sideways. I don't know. Right, I might just turn that. Right, there we go. So, yeah. There you go. So I'll just finish that off and I'll come back to you with that information. See you later. Sorry, see you later. Hi. Okay, so I have finished. I have cover stitched around the neckline, around the hemline, and around the arm sleeve lines, hemline. Okay, so that is the Ruched T. Ruched up the sides. Ruched. See, just sitting there pretty like that. Yep, and that's how it sits. What do you think? There you go. That is the T. Looks like my head's on it. So that's the T. Okay, so that's done in just a couple of hours. First time I've ever made it. There you go, Karina. Back at you, girlfriend. Let's see what you're going to pop out next. Okay, back to Norway. Okay, this is the last part of me talking about this Ruched T sitting there in the background. Okay, it was a challenge by Karina from Norway, and I'll put her link below. I think I might have said this in one of the other things. So I'm going to just collate everything together. It should be done by now. By the time I start talking about this, so I'll stop talking about what I'm going to do, because I would have done it by the time you get to this. So I am going to now wait to see what comes back at me with the next stage of this challenge. The challenge is same shirt, different ways. So let's just see what Karina's got in store for me. So I want you guys to, it's still Tuesday. It's still the Melbourne Cup day. It is currently 2:46 in the afternoon. I've got 1 hour to put in my bets. I don't know who I'm betting for. And I will then also go to Lincraft and get Lily to drive home. I might pick up the fabric that I might want to use for something. Don't tell Mum. And that's me for today. Yeah. So the pattern is the Ruched T by Angela Wolf. I'll put the links below, and I want you guys to stay well, stay dry, stay warm, keep cool, keep on sewing. And yeah, have a Google of Angela Wolf's patterns. It's quite the cute tee, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, see you later, guys.